Harlow wanted to say hi to y'all. Say hello. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Madison Jaggars. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. So I'm a senior in college. I'm a communications major with a focus in broadcast journalism, and not to brag, but I like to think I've done a lot throughout the past 4 years to kind of set me on the path for my career. Let me just add this, my dream job is to be a sideline reporter or do college game day or anything really along those lines, so a sports reporter. I get a lot of DMs or people ask me like how I do this and that, so here are some of my tips for anyone looking to get into that field. Now, disclaimer, you could do all of these tips and not get a job. I started applying this year, but I still don't know where I'm going to be working or what I'm going to be doing exactly. These aren't tips on how to be a reporter. These are just tips on if you want to be a reporter, some things you can do while you're in college to get you going on that path. These tips aren't in any particular order. I think they're all important. The first tip I wrote down is to join clubs. I know whenever school is starting back in August, most campuses will have lots of events that you can attend. They're really for freshmen, and they'll have all the booths set up of the clubs and stuff that are on campus. So find some that have your interest. See if there's a journalism club or a PR club. Those are pretty popular, so I believe that most campuses would have them. If you don't see them out, just do a Twitter search, look them up on Google, type in journalism club blank blank, whatever school you are. Just do everything you can to find some type of club or organization that is based on journalism or communication. The next tip I would say is start applying for those internships early. I applied for my first internship my freshman going into sophomore year, and I got the internship, and I was the youngest intern that they've ever had, so that stands out. And yeah, I didn't wait. And then since that time, I've had 3 other internships, and I know some people that wait till senior year to start those internships, and they end up hating it. And then they don't want to even do that job anymore. And by that point, it's kind of like, well, you graduate in 2 months, so what are you going to do? So it's definitely good to start early, and the earlier you start, you'll get to know what exactly you want to do. You'll see what you like and don't like. You can try out different places. You have more time to go elsewhere, and since you've been building that resume, more places will want you to come join their team, whether it be for an internship or a job or anything like that. And you get to see if that's something you really want to do. Also, while you're interning, you'll meet a lot of people, and that goes into networking, which is it's really basic, but it's probably the most important tip. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. So say you have an internship somewhere and you're kicking butt, you're doing really good, you become like a family with the station, because that's usually what happens. I know in my case, that's what happened for me. And say you got close to a reporter there, and then that reporter leaves and goes to a station somewhere else. Well, now you have that bond with them, so if you want to go shadow that station or intern that station, you have a connection. So you can call that person up, email them like, hey, I'd like to come up there and shadow you, or hey, are there any internships? And it's just like a tree, and you'll be so surprised. In the TV industry, everybody knows everybody, basically. Like, for example, I'm a big creeper, so I was on Instagram, and this girl was somewhere like I wanted to go towards. So I was like, you know what, like I want to shadow there, like I'm gonna call them. So I called them, and so they're asking about me. I was like, oh, I go to blank blank, and they were like, oh, cool, like so and so, like our sports reporter here went to that school as well. Like I'd love to like set you up with him, and you can come down here and shadow. So right off the bat, that networking and that connection. And it also turns out that while he went to my school, he also interned at the same place I was and had the same boss as me. So it's just like adding to the tree, adding to the tree. Also, reach out to people. If you see somebody doing something that you're interested in doing, go up to them and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, how'd you get into this? Or how are you doing this? Pull up the, every university has a media directory listed. I'm just using sports, so everybody has a sports directory. With that, you'll see names, and then across from it, it'll say their position, the communications manager, blah, blah, blah. Email those people and be like, hey, this is my field that I'm studying. I was just wondering if there's anything I can do that I would be able to do, write for you or shoot for you or edit for you or anything like that. You'd be surprised. The sports departments or communications departments are always looking for interns just within that, or people to help out, or assistants or things like that. So just reach out. Like one time I've emailed about 10 people and I only heard back from one, but all you need is that one person to get your foot in the door. I apologize, I feel like this is really all over the place, so I hope you guys are keeping up. Another tip is practice your own things. I know, for example, one of the classes I took was video and news or something like that. We only did 2 packages, which I don't really want to explain what a package is, but if you're in news, like, you'll learn what a package is. It's basically like a story that you see on the news when they do like, oh, a story about this new shop open downtown, like that. We only do about 2 a semester because they're really just teaching you and helping you. But once you get that, the universities usually, I'm pretty sure, have equipment that you can borrow or check out. Do that. Just because you only did those 2 for class doesn't mean that's all you can do. If there's a story happening on campus or an event that you want to cover, rent that equipment out. Once you're out of the class, that doesn't mean you can't use that stuff anymore. Rent it out and go shoot your own thing. That class was basically just to teach you and give you the tools, but now that you know, go do some more. Like, add that to your reel that you'll put together, put that on your website, and you don't have to just do what you do in class. It's so good to go practice your own stuff outside of class. For example, shooting a stand-up. You don't have to just do that in class. It doesn't even have to be like a real thing. For example, go stand in front of some construction and be like, don't say anything insane like they're building a new zoo, but just be like, so this construction, you can even say this construction is being built, they're opening up a new blah blah blah. Like, wow, if I say blah blah blah, I'm being not very specific, but you know what I mean. Just go shoot your own stand-up. Go, if there's an event happening, be like, behind me there's a fair going on, anything like that. Just don't be afraid to go branch out on your own and do your own ideas. You don't even have to put together a whole package. You can honestly just do a stand-up. You can go downtown in front of a new restaurant. This restaurant just opened up on Greenville Boulevard, blah 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 blah, and that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do a whole package. Another tip is befriend your professors. You'll be around them for 4 years. It's really important to build a bond with especially your communication professors. I still send mine stuff to this day to check. After I'll shoot a package or a video, I'll send it to them and be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? They'll see your growth. They'll know what you're good at. They'll be able to give you tips. They also will know people. They've been in the business for a long time, so they might know anchors and reporters at other stations that have graduated. So again, with the networking, in this field, networking is so important. If you never network or do anything, I can guarantee that you probably won't get a job. Like, it's just so important. It's just so important. Everything in this industry to me is about networking. Is just a really big deal. Build a website. So when you apply to other places, you'll be able to, when you apply to places, you'll be able to send your website, which will have all your work on it. Your reel, packages you've done, articles you've written. It'll be like your collection of things you've done, so you have something to show. You want to be able to point the employer to somewhere, and that's why you also don't want to wait till till senior year to start doing things, because like that's a lot and that's really stressful. You want to have collected things over the years instead of just trying to go shoot a bunch of packages, go do a bunch of stand-ups, put together a website, get headshots, do all that within like 2 months of you graduating. That's kind of like, that makes me have anxiety just thinking about that. Another important tip is to make friends with your classmates. No one else is going to understand what you're going through, what you have to do for this job or anything like that except them. If you need help with something, like working the camera or shooting something, who else is better to ask than your classmates who are in your same shoes, who learn the same things as you do, instead of asking somebody who's never touched a camera in their life. It's also good to bounce things back and forth. You can bounce ideas off of each other. You can send each other your work and go on study dates together, and it's just really good to make sure you connect with those people that you have classes with and that you see every day. I have classes with the same people I've had literally 4 years since I've been here, and yeah, and I've made really great friendships through connecting with them, and I've also made really good help through connecting with them. So don't be scared to talk to people in your classes, even though they might be outside of your normal group. I know I talked a lot, and I hope that I covered everything. And I'm saying so much in this video. If you have any additional questions or anything I didn't cover but you want to know about, just let me know in the comments below. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.